Welcome back to Creating Eden, friends. So is your Minecraft city lifeless and boring? Today I'm going to show you how I went from this to this using small details on a small scale, and from this to this on the large scale to create impact and history in the city of Eden. If you're new here, I'm educated in fine art, I paint, and I use Minecraft as a creative canvas. I'm building a fictional city representing the best humanity could be. And today we're doubling the size of Eden, and I will show you how much small details and adding evidence of history can make your own city come alive. All cities have to start from somewhere, and what better place to start than a classic red brick building? Did you know red brick architecture is a widespread phenomenon with examples found on every continent and in most large cities? Eden is no exception. Here's a classic example of one, and here's the palette we're going to use in Minecraft to get a similar feel. Here's our starting point. The city of Eden is going to get its own red brick building. I'm super excited to make one. I love walking through old downtown areas with all the old shops and see what people have done to all the old downtown areas. And I am thrilled to put this in the city. And I believe by adding this will force us to kind of create history in Eden, which will help breathe life into the city and make it feel less boring. So join me as I go through my creative process. I'm going to give you insight into how I go about the troubleshooting and decision making to bring this building to life. So using this for our palette, we're going to do mud bricks as the main one, and then we'll have kind of this vertical brick, red brick, vertical brick pattern that we're doing here. And then it's just a matter of figuring out the windows, using some granite for accents. We're going to do minimal texturing here so that we don't interfere with the pattern. I might be going a little bit too realism here. And you'll see sometimes a lot of these old buildings, because the street level raised or, something else, they have these windows that are kind of in weird places. So that's what I'm going for here. So we're just going to have to do what you see on these buildings, and those got to get blocked up here. But do we want that realism? I don't know. That's what we got to figure out here. And we have another problem. Do we want this to look like a ruin, or is this restored? So let's get this up another row. Okay, we brought it up another level. I'm liking how this is looking. Just to make it look a little more realistic, we got to brick out a couple of them, of course, because you'll see that all the time in these buildings, depending on like how well kept they were. And now I got to design something that looks a little more interesting for the front. So let's see what we can come up with for that. All right, what do we think of this here? So we're gonna go with a much thicker window. This is the primary windows, kind of the feature wall, the facade of the building. Again, I haven't decided, are we going to make this a functional building, or is it just historical and kind of ruins and we plan around it? By the way, if you didn't know, at the end of all my videos are fun skits and scenes from within the city. Check them out. Okay, I played around with it a little bit more, and here's what I'm coming up with. Now, right now, this is kind of getting towards more of like a ruined type look, but you wouldn't really have this like ruined, I don't know. So here's our problem. Let's take a look. Right now, this looks really out of place. Maybe we're going too realistic. These are kind of like ruined, like same concept as like the buried windows. I don't know. It's kind of weird. How realistic did we go here? If this was real, we would just, go like this. And, oh, there's a bunch of mud. What the heck? Oh, it goes farther here. Wait, we got more building under here. Oh. Is this what I think it is? What of it? Well, I mean, it was bricked off, and look at mud, more mud. Folks, friends, I have an idea. The best part about building your own city is we can do it however we want. And in the city of Eden, we're going to assume that their historical red brick buildings have their proper first floor. So we don't need this, no awkward stairs. We are going to get the ground floor brought up. So let's crank it up. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. Much better. All right, we have our proper first floor. Lots of weathering, arches and columns. I think our facade works a little bit better now. So now that we have a proper red brick building, historical looking building, lots of accents, different windows, it's interesting, but we have a new problem. So let's creatively troubleshoot the next one. We still have the original problem. It's looking extremely out of place. And, often they are looking out of place, but that doesn't mean we have to let it be that way. The whole point is to make the City of Eden come alive. And adding history helps your city come alive. It gives it lore and purpose. So what shall we do with the building? And then I was thinking more about it. I have an idea. We're operating in the City of Eden, the best humanity can do. They certainly wouldn't let it go to ruin. What I think they would do is I think they would renovate the building and, create it kind of like a cool venue for different things. So we could play around with that, restaurants, wedding venue, that kind of thing. But then I really had an idea. What would happen if a historical building like this and a skyscraper had a baby? And that's what we're going to make. Imagine this. A steel superstructure going way, way up, with this building being maybe even the tallest building in the entire city to kind of celebrate its history. So we could have this kind of earth tone steel superstructure that's going like giant X's going across, something like that. And then we have this entire superstructure. By having it on the outside like that, it would mean that we have way more fun to do with the interior, can basically have this whole thing be open. And then maybe because we have it near the ocean and the parks and everything down here, this could be kind of almost an open air. I mean, all that would really be left is the facade, but it would let us really turn this into like a really cool venue. So I'm excited. That's kind of what I'm imagining here. So before I treat you to a time lapse where I put this all together, as we always do here in Eden, please don't lick. Please like and subscribe my channel. And we're back. We ended the time lapse a little far away. It's okay. We can walk. We'll walk back. Every episode's a little bit different, but I would say of everything so far, this turned out just how I wanted it to. And it's no surprise because I have been working hard at this every episode. Many weeks that I have done this. I still need to learn to be a little more efficient with my time, but I'm new at this and I'm trying to get better. But I have learned a lot, and with each episode, I'm finding it easier and easier to achieve the result I'm looking for. Just practice makes perfect, so to speak, you know? So let's take a look at it. Before we look at the restaurant that I built on the pier here, we're going to just talk about the skyscraper and how we made that work. Like I said, this historical building had a baby with the skyscraper, and I thought that was a fun premise. And I found actually an image that kind of inspired me for it, and this is kind of what was born of it. So I'm calling it the Crown Building, historical building that is celebrated and turned into a historical landmark. And this mural on the back, which will be interesting. I got some troubleshooting to figure out the next buildings of how I'm going to outlay this. I have a fairly good idea how I'm going to do it, but you'll see that in later episodes. Just assume this image is representing maybe a historical native or historical important figure related to the historical history of this building. This is kind of my thoughts. So let's take a look at the interior of the Crown Building. My favorite part. We have this covered arch and column walkway, which I really enjoy. And here's our first impression walking in. Welcome to the Crown Building. I love this lobby. I wanted to convey an emotion when you walk in here that is just like, wow. And I'm hoping that comes across with the superstructure going through here and the stairs going up, the logo. These would be like storefronts, which are not decorated right now. We have this awesome fountain here, seating area, the windows. It's all very open and airy. I'll explain him later. And you have just open air access to this kind of botanical greenhouse type walkthrough area with the restaurant on the outside, lots of hanging vines and leaves, and all while seeing the skyscraper, the Crown Building up on top. And we got some really cool chandeliers. I was gonna put 3 in, and it didn't quite work for me with the sight lines to be able to see the logo. I was imagining a 3rd one, but I don't know, wasn't feeling it. Created a fountain, but I didn't want it to be a normal standing water fountain. I'm imagining this is just a normal garden with just a fountain in it, and this is about the closest I can think of that you can create in Minecraft, which required a whole bunch of playing around with debug stick and stuff like that. We have a lot of steps to get to the top. Get your steps in, no doubt about it. Some cool views. To get to the top, we have this atrium here. Looking down, we walk around, got our elevators. I did not fully develop all the interior in here yet, but my thought is we have another kind of restaurant up here. The first 4 or 5 floors of the Crown Building are just lobby, public space, some restaurants, eating potential, and sort of venue rental. Or like a wedding, for example, that kind of concept. And the seating for the wedding concept might be like this area, for example, which is, I mostly set it up, didn't go farther with it. And so from here on up, you're getting into more traditional skyscraper. Now, if you take the stairs to over here and head this way, we have more areas that could get developed into stores or shops and stuff like that. Or maybe just public spaces with seating, hard to say. It's really funky because you have the superstructure going in here, and obviously we can't edit that out. So I went with the idea to just keep things open and just funky with all of that, and use a lot of this cherry wood and dark oak to frame out areas like this in here. Just trying to imagine what they might do with a space with an old building. And this could, to be developed later. I'm itching to do it, but there's only so much time. Got all these beams going through the top, kind of another greenhouse-ish type atrium there. So much fun. Dude, hello. And this is a fun area. I'm thinking kind of like pizza. I hate to use the word pizza. I mean, I don't want to assume the... Wow. What a crazy statement to make. I know this is a fictional city. Man, I overthink everything. I was literally about to say, I don't want to presume the fictional cuisine of Eden, but you know what? Now I've said it, so that's there. Oh my gosh, I am such a nerd. But yeah, so this is where they have pizza quotation marks, so to speak, in Eden, and a fun restaurant kind of concept in here. I really am trying to go for this was a historical building and walls aren't exactly where they maybe originally were, and it's just kind of an ad hoc kind of thrown together thing. So I want it to look quirky. I'm going for quirky. So, and the best part about going for quirky is I kind of win no matter what, because if it's intentional, it looks good, and if it's quirky, I did it on purpose too. So everything, I win no matter what. And outside as well. And eventually when I know what this building is and this building is, then it'll really come alive. And I want this to be a very cool kind of pass-through, walk-through area. But yeah, we have a restaurant here. We're continuing with our green architecture concept, and we have 3 floors that are open. And here's the first floor. They're all the same with one small difference, which I'll show in a minute. So seating areas here, lots of lush greenery. It was really interesting because I'm only 7 blocks high in here, and it was feeling really cramped with the trees. Trees just look better. The higher you go in Minecraft, the higher you scale them up, they're just so much better. So I had a thought. I'm like, you know, I could do whatever I want here. So I cut out a corner and I brought it up into this space, into the floor above it, and made like these little alcoves. And then I created this kind of mega tiki jungle plant. And it might be a real plant, I don't know, but yeah, I invented it, so we'll call it my plant. And then you can walk around either side. We got our stairwell access there, same seating arrangement on this side, but everything is custom. And just to make it a little bit different, on this side we have tall, skinny, swirly plants. Adding all these greenery in all these spaces everywhere we can throughout the city as we continue with episode after episode is really what Eden's all about. We want greenery everywhere. And we're going up and up and up and up and up. And this one I changed things. Now in the 3rd floor, I added something different. Dun dun da da. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. And now this is not a big wedding, and it's wonderful. But then I realized that because of this cramped space here, the elevator, would the bride come out of the elevator and just be like, "Hello, honey"? So I put up this little privacy wall here, but I mean, I need to leave that so the bride could come out, but they would hear the ding of the elevator, or maybe there's like no dings on this floor, so that she can like hide right here and then go in. I'm overthinking again. Oh, but it's fun. It's fun. Anyways, this is yeah, wedding, get it on. All right, I do the wed. And these are kind of just a cool areas to break up the sameness of the architecture. I did not design the interior for the special areas, but I'm itching to do it. This skyscraper is getting very close to build limit for the city, and I did that intentionally. I think the historical building, to give it that historical significance, needs to be either the tallest or one of the tallest, and I'm not gonna have a ton of them that height, so maybe one more that's tall. And I have an idea for that one as well. I'm using end rods to light up these sections, FYI, for both this top section and the middle section, which is why they look that way. So if you're sick of the wedding, you're leaving. We're done. We can go through the skyway. It's kind of an artsy skyway. It doesn't need to be here, but you know, this is where we're fancy. This entire elevator shaft is covered in moss. And if you're like, hey, G-Paint, why would you spend this much time doing this? This is insane. Like, don't you respect yourself? And I would say, no, it was so much fun. I love it. And then, yeah, so without falling, it's all open air like this. So this tiny little building is, ooh, that's an oversight. This tiny little building is like an event center, public event center, no cost. Elevators, I didn't want going ding and then falling. So elevators are on the back side. What? I thought that was the right one. Wait, we're getting there. Yes. Okay, this one gets a privacy wall because this is where you can discuss your evil plans. This guy reclined. Yeah, chill, dude. No. Oh, I did. See? Terrible. Oh, so if I touch him, should have used carpet. Why did I do that? Whatever. This is mega corporate boardroom type concept. You gotta have one. A small little lobby. Hello. So front desk, cozy waiting areas. You have a lot of friends who are waiting here. And we're out here. Before I designed out this restaurant area, honestly, it just still wasn't quite clicking. And that's to be expected. You really got to keep going with the small details and push those details, push them until things start feeling right. And that's kind of what I keep discovering here is you might actually be on the right track with your build and what you're building, but you just haven't put enough details in there to kind of fill it out. In this particular instance, I was going to do a circular building, but we have a circle there, kind of an oval thing going there. I thought it was important to interrupt the pattern of trying to be so curvy here and throw in a rectangular building, and then it still wasn't feeling quite right until I finished putting all these details in. You know, and it's not perfect, but when you're not flying around, everything feels completely natural. It feels great. Like, it's believable. And came up with some much bigger trees. I can't just do palm trees everywhere. That's not enough. Got pushing myself to try different plants and purposely used the biome tool in Axiom so that I can have different colored grass just to mix it up. And to echo what was going on in this moss wall up here, I decided to go with a full moss roof right here too, plus the two big trees. And it just feels, I don't know, feels cozy in here. At least that's what I'm going for. And then you can come in here and get yourself coffee, because I think Eden has coffee too. I'm not assuming they're coffee. I think we all know they have coffee. It's universal. Just help yourself. So, some seating over here, just kind of a fun bookshelf up here. So again, this is just playing around with lots of small details. And then we just added some more planters here, and then for continuity, I extended those all the way down the walkway and designed out a little logo here. Again, more seating. Yeah, you get the idea. So the point is, this one is so much small details concentrated in one small place, but it really, in my opinion, has helped breathe life into this whole corner here and made it more believable. I hope you like it. I had so much fun with this, and I feel like this historical red brick building really feels part of Eden now. And as we continue to add more buildings, all these different variations in architecture is what's going to make the city feel warm and alive. Classic futuristic city that's all white just doesn't really work. And we're not going that kind of futuristic. We're just going better, not necessarily futuristic. Over here will be a video at some point. You can see what I've been working on. I have ripped out more of the island, continuing that direction. So there's lots of fun details coming up in future episodes. If you're still here and you stuck it around to the end, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Please tell me in the comments what you like or what you don't like and what could we do in the future. Do you have any types of buildings that you would like to see in the city? Anyways, blah, 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 blah. Let's get to the skits. Clever girl! Big breath. I do. Help! 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 What's going on? Is this real? Oh, hello. Thank you for coming. Mom? Dad? Hi. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. What is going on? No. This can't be real. Oh my God. What the? Thank you for sticking around this song. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Have a good one.